Hi, I'm Nick, the product owner of Data Protection and Security Toolkit here at Actonic. I want to discuss the Data Cleaner Confluence Cloud version. To go there and configure the template, you should go to the home page of our application and click on the Data Cleaner. To configure the template for the Data Cleaner and set up the configuration to find any kind of information, we should click on the Create Custom Template, and I will walk you through the configuration of the application. The first step is general configuration, and at first, of course, we are naming our template. For example, it can be template name 444 in this case because the template name is already used. And the next is the description of the template, which is also for the internal use. And the next one is the SQL, where we are defining, for example, where we are looking for the information. And in this case, it can be all pages and all blog posts, like type equals page or type equals blog post. The next is defining the owner of the template, which will be notified for this template work, and the actor. For example, if we set up some kind of action for our rules, for example, we are looking for any kind of specific information and we want to add comments in the spaces where the information exists, the actor is who will be actually commenting in those posts or in those pages or blogs. The next one is trigger. We can set up a manual trigger or we can set up a trigger by content event. In the content event case, we can choose on page or blog post created or updated or comment created or comment updated. So this template will always be running and looking for some kind of content which is created or updated, and it will be looking for the information in that content. The second step is fields processing, and at first we are looking for the fields and we are choosing which fields we want to work with. For example, it can be title, body, comment, or attachment name. It can be used rendered fields, or we can also use raw field formats. Let's leave the rendered first right here. The next is rules that will be applied to data. It means that we are defining what we are actually looking for in our instance. We have a long library of the rules, which are all created by regular expressions, and we can choose one or many regular expressions and rules there is. For example, we are looking for IPv4s, we are looking for international bank accounts, and we are looking for British NHS numbers, and we can add one or many rules there are for our data cleaner. The next part is to define the actions and what we are going to do with the found information. But before the actions, I want to mention that we also can create our own rules and we can edit the rules that are already created. For example, let's click on the create new rule and let's define the new rule. Rule name can be defined as we want. For example, it can be a test, and next we are defining what we are actually looking for. We can look for plain text, which is case sensitive, and if we want what we are actually looking for and if we can define that, of course we can use the plain text. But if the data is pattern based, we can use regular expression and we can find any kind of data with the regular expression. The last option is the user, and we can define which user we will be looking for and what kind of user information we'll be looking for with our data cleaner. So if we configure our data cleaner properly, like with the rules, with the actions, we'll be able to find and act upon any kind of information there is. So right now, let's define our actions. We can click on the add action button. We can name our action. It can be a test, for example, and we can choose on which rules these actions will be applied. So we can choose one or many rules for each action, or we can use any rules checkbox right here. So this action will be applied to any rule there is for our template. And there are multiple types of actions. For example, number one is to add comments to the pages or blog posts, and we can also use variables like template name, action name, base URL, content ID, anything there is. We also have restrict view and edit for the content where the specific information exists. We can send notification emails to any kind of recipients with the email subject and body, and we can also use variables right here. We can send notification to the template owner who was defined in the first step of the configuration, and we can define an email subject and body with variables right here. We can also add labels, and if the labels doesn't exist, we can create them for you. The next is to use webhook. In case of webhook, we also can use variables right here. And we can also show warning on the page view. It means that the announcement will be thrown and there will be some kind of pop-up which will say the title and body will define with the variables there are. And we also can set content property with the key and value, and we can replace with text. So any information found can be replaced with any text we will be defined right here. So this is how the template can be configured for the data cleaner for Confluence Cloud version. And right now, let's see how it actually works. So if we go to the dashboard and if we click on one of the executions or history of the executions of one of the template, we can see how it actually performed. For example, I will go in the statistics page of this template, and I can see that in this page, for this ID, in this title of a page, in the field body, there was standard credit card number found, but there was no action because I did not define any kind of action for that template, and status of the action, of course, is none in that case. And I'm able to see every single possibility where the information could be stored, where the standard credit card number information could be stored, and I can, of course, act upon it based on my preference. This is how the data cleaner module works for Confluence Cloud. Thank you for your time.